Hey guys, and welcome to our channel. Today we are going to touch on things that are different in Sweden for us as South Africans, but just in general. So we're using South Africa as our topic, well, our reference point, because that's what we know, but yeah, might be different for you too. So enjoy.
Yeah, so these are, like, we have a bunch of random things, and please, there are no order, specific order. We were just, you know, randomly taking some notes over the last few months, and this is by far not the comprehensive list. And if you guys like it, let us know, and we'll do more of these.
Yeah, whatever you can think of, you know.
So we have our notes here, so we're going to be looking down at them. Okay, that's what we're looking at. So good. Again, in no specific order, and let's get going. And the first one was like the.
I think it's because we miss it so much.
We really did not rehearse any of this.
No.
So if you look, so the first one, right? So we said bargains, right? Bargains and China Mall. So in South Africa, we had like a China Mall, you know, like actually a few China malls, you know, where you would find things that come from, well, China, and all these like bargain shops.
Yeah, and you can like haggle them, right? It's like something's there for like $50, and you're like, it's too much, and you can haggle your way down. Like, I kind of miss that. I miss haggling, guys.
And you could always go in and like find the most random things. I mean, it's like basically like walking into a Wish shop.
A Wish store.
Yeah. And you would buy like a whole bunch of crap, and you know, some of it's cool, but most of it's crap though. But it was fun going there.
Yeah, you know, it's sometimes fun to go to a place and buy shit you don't need for next to nothing. Yeah, it's entertaining.
Yeah, and along with that, you know what I miss is so we had a lot of hawkers, so people trying to sell you things like next to the traffic lights, right? So you would stop at a traffic light, and man, and then like sunglasses would come out. And
those guys come in real handy on a sunny day, man. When you've forgotten your sunglasses at home. Even as far as, oh goodness, my lawn looks dry, I'm gonna go buy some lawn. The guys that they sell lawn on the side of the road, you know, these blocks of lawn. You're like, lekker, I'm gonna go get that.
Yeah.
They don't have that kind of thing, yeah.
Yeah. And again, I mean, so again, we're not talking for the entire Sweden, please. Like, we live up in the north of Sweden, in the sticks, in a forest somewhere. So there's a lot of these things that are like, you know, people are going to watch it from Sweden and be like, yeah, we
have that.
We have that. But yeah, just quickly going back to the sunglasses. Yeah, like, so you would stop at a traffic light, and someone would like, they would notice you noticing a sunglass, right? And that's the worst thing, all right?
Oh, you can't let them see you.
You should never look, okay? And the moment that they think that you're looking, they come, they're right, and they're like, and they bring out all the sunglasses, right? And then you're like, okay, fine. And then you find one, and you ask how much. So we'll talk in rand. I'll say, no, it's 100 rand. You're like, no, it's too much. 50. And it's like, oh, I can't do 50. You're like, I don't want it, you know? And it's this back and forth. But the fun part of all of this is that it has to happen before the light turns green again.
It's a very quick transaction, and it often doesn't happen in that time.
Yeah, and also some of the cool things that you can buy at traffic lights. I mean, fruit. We have so many people selling fruit. Beautiful mangoes and pecan nuts and those things.
Oh, yeah, and macadamias if you go to
macadamias, yeah, yeah. Anyway, so that's fun. If you ever go for a visit to South Africa, yeah, like, you need to know where to buy and who to roll your window down for.
Yeah, don't just roll your window down for anybody, please.
No, don't. Things can go bad. And I just actually, it's maybe a little bit late for a disclaimer, but I want to say that a lot of these things that are different are maybe related to the crime problem in South Africa, but we're not bashing South Africa.
No,
It's
not at all.
It's a really beautiful country. It's a fantastic place. It's great to go on holiday if you stick to the rules, you know, nothing wrong with it. But us having lived there for so many years, obviously you're used to a certain way of living, and some things are different.
Yeah, just we've learned to be vigilant over the years, I think, and that's just some key advice to take with you if you ever do go to South Africa. Vigilance.
You grew up tough.
Yeah.
Do you want to take the next point?
What's the next point?
So the next one is shops. So specific shops.
Oh yes. So one of the things I struggled with in particular when I got here was the shops. So you do have things like Coop, Ika, Woolies, and they're great shops. I mean, they've got everything you need. But you do miss your stores like Woolworths, and the hardware stores is probably something he struggled with the most.
Yeah.
It's because you're used to your stores in your country, and you come here and you don't know what things are called. You really don't know your ass from your head. So you constantly trying to figure out what's what. I still haven't found any type of variation of Panutro. No idea what it would be called, what it would look like. I've just given up. So
that's a cereal, by the way, breakfast cereal.
Those in South Africa, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. So you are going to get that, and I think one of the key differences between the shops here and in South Africa is basically how you shop at them. So in South Africa, it's a case of you go to the shop, you fill your trolley, you go your checkouts, and then, you know, they beep everything and it goes through and you pay. Great. But you have a million cameras watching you and people and stuff too. Here, it's a case if you go to the store, you swipe your card, you get a scanner, and you scan your groceries as you go through the shop. It tallies up. You quickly put your scanner down, check out, and off you go. This would not fly in South Africa.
No, self checkout would be good for everyone except for the shop owners.
It would not fly very well.
Yeah, and we've actually even heard of some shops up in the north of Sweden where you know, some hours they don't even have any staff. You just like check yourself out.
I can't imagine.
And that would never fly. Never.
Even hardwares. I mean, do you want to take the hardwares?
Yeah, I mean, look, again, different at all the hardwares depending where you are, but in the smaller towns, if you go to a hardware store, so we would like ring up all the stuff that we want, and some of it is some of the stuff that you need to go fetch outside, like the big planks and the boards and things. And so they would say, cool, so you've paid and it's over there, and you'll see it, just it's over there, and then you can fetch it. And then you go and you count your boards that you paid for and you load them on and you drive away and no one checks. Again, this doesn't happen at all the hardware stores, but it does happen in Sweden. In South Africa, it is basically like airport security at
every stop
at Australia airport, you know, where you have to, you know, you open your car for some reason before you go in, you know, and they search it, and then you like there is your receipt that gets signed, and then his supervisor comes and signs after your car has been packed. Then you drive, and then a security gate with a gun at booms stop you and search your car again to make sure that everything's fine there, and you give the receipt, and then you are free to leave. So a little bit different.
Quite.
So we've touched on those things. So
actual mail.
Yeah, our next one, actual mail in the mailbox.
Yeah, guys, this one was a big one for me. To this day, I have now been here for going on 2 years, and to this day I still look forward to getting post. I don't care if it's a bill or spam. But going to the post box is a serious novelty for me, because we didn't really get mail. It's like, okay, we got mail. It was always late. I mean, you wanted something in the mail, oh goodness, you waited long. If someone was sending you something, you were just like, okay, good, please send it via email, because I'm probably never going to get it.
Yeah, and just to be clear, it's not that South Africa doesn't have a mail service. South Africa does have a mail service. It's called the South African Postal Service, and but most companies stopped sending physical letters. So what a lot of people would do is they would get private mailboxes at the post office, and you go in and you unlock it and you take all the mail out. But like getting mail at home, it still happens now and then, but it's super rare. And if you really want someone to get something, then you don't use that.
No, mostly people send you stuff via email. I mean, they do that here too. You got things like Kivra and stuff, but I think it's awesome to go to the mailbox and like, I have mail today.
Yeah. And if there's something that you really need to get, like physically, in the form of mail, then in South Africa it would usually be sent via a courier, which is like a dedicated like courier,
like a DHL.
Yeah, or
like
someone
that,
where you know, like you sign for that letter that it's been delivered. There's tracking number, all of that. It's obviously super expensive, or more expensive than the postal agency. And I think also importing things was it took super long.
Oh goodness, yeah, because it had to go through the postal service a lot of the time.
Yeah, which is, well, customs and postal service. That was long. I mean, here we order something off like Alibaba or something, and we'll wait maybe 2 weeks, sometimes 3 if it's slow. In South Africa, probably 3 months.
I think I waited something like 3 or 4 months for something from Wish, just to give you an example. Like, that's how long I waited. I forgot I even ordered it.
And then it sucked.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, I mean, here, like, pretty confidential stuff will get sent to you in the mail, or even like your...
Doctor's appointments.
Driver's license?
Yeah, driver's license, doctor's appointments.
Yeah.
You know, those type of things are all sent to you via post.
Yeah.
Which is like, wow, you know.
So kudos. Post Nord. Good
Love
on
it.
you. You have been a little bit abusive with a lot of my packages, though, just putting it out there. So let's talk a bit about the trust system. So do you want to explain what this unspoken trust system is?
Okay. So while we're on that sort of trust topic and post and all the rest of it, the trust system is actually quite awesome. So everyone knows basically what they should and shouldn't do. It's like
good human beings.
Yeah, it's like you have morals, use them, right? So that's basically what the trust system is here in Sweden, is people trust that you will pay and trust that you will do what you have to do, and that's pretty much that. And you want to emphasize on that topic?
Yeah, well, there's a common trust system and underlying a mutual trust happening, and some of those things, like we said, you know, like the trust system when you go to the hardware store, you pick up some of your stuff, like we've mentioned. Also things like leaving parcels at your door, and
oh, wow, yeah.
Again, that maybe doesn't happen everywhere in Sweden, I don't know. But I know for a fact it can definitely not happen in South Africa.
No.
Our courier drivers regularly in South Africa get shot and killed just for the stuff they have in the back of their van. These people who rob them don't even know what's in there, but they know there's stuff in there. So it is really very different in that sense. Right. So also on the trust system, just so it's not as prominent here, but I have seen it, YouTube videos of other farms that we follow in Sweden, where they'll put some eggs. If you're a farmer, obviously, you'll put some eggs in, like in a box outside at the road, And yeah, and like people would like leave the right amount of money. You'd say it's like 10 crown an egg or whatever, and like they'd leave the right amount of money, and they would take change if needed and close it, you know. And it actually works out well. And I understand trust boxes are not a Swedish thing. It's just not a South African thing.
Yeah, that's certainly not a South African thing. But yeah, I mean, might be the same there where you are. But you know, like we said, our reference point.
Do you want to talk about that one?
Idling your car.
Yeah.
Okay, and leaving your car parked.
So like idling your car at the shops. Remember, so we've seen it a few times.
Yeah.
It's not super common.
At the school. Yeah. Okay. So the next point is pretty cool. Is idling your shops at cars.
No. But also
idling your car at the shops. Beep beep. So when it's pretty cold here, as everyone knows already by now. So a lot of people, what we find that they do is they leave their cars idling outside while they're going to the shops. And I've also seen it a couple of times when I take my kids to school, is a lot of the mothers or whatever, they actually leave their cars idling outside while they take their kids into school, because on a day where it's minus 20, minus 27, you know, it's actually a wise idea to leave your car running. So
it's nice.
It's nice. You get into a nice, warm, cozy car. It's delightful. All right. And that in South Africa would not fly.
Oh no.
Not in the least. You wouldn't get back. You wouldn't come back to a car.
I mean, there they take your car the moment you start it. Basically, then it belongs to them now, whether you are there or not. But it's a lot easier if it's already running and the keys are in the ignition. Silly things. Silly things.
A silly little life.
Also, on the topic of parked cars, I've seen a lot of times because I go to hardware stores a lot.
No.
You know, can you imagine? And where someone will leave their tools, their toolboxes and stuff in the back of their pickup trucks, right? Not locked or anything, you know, it's just there. And man, that, like, it makes me paranoid. I just want to stand there and like watch the stuff until the guy comes out and make sure it's okay, you know. And I know everyone's not a dodgy South African like we are.
Absolutely. And if you've seen the price of tools, heavens, you stand there.
Oh, yeah.
You'd be like, I'm going to make sure these are fine.
Yeah. So look, we have a really long list, but you know, maybe we can stop at this one, which I think for me and for you was one of the weirdest things to see, and that's watching kids walk to school. And that is something that is so normal in Sweden.
Oh yeah, it was one of the first things I noticed when we got here, is you saw these tiny little kids walking, and I'm talking maybe 5 or 6, you know, early school, preschool.
Yeah.
Walking around, riding their bikes, walking to school in the morning, and I was just like, wow. And it's dark. I mean, it's Sweden, right? So it's like winter and dark, and the kids are just like, and I'm looking for a parent. And they're fine, you know. It's life. They go to the park down the road. No parents. They go as a
They'll
group
cut through a forest.
Yeah, it's like totally normal, and I found that really like wow. And it was also gave me so much hope for my own kids, you know, because you know where we came from, you were behind bars and doors and gates, and you wouldn't dream of it. And yeah, it's like totally normal. It's really cool.
When you were little, did you walk to school?
No.
I know a few times when I was obviously older, like high school, like we'd walk to school and back sometimes, you know. It was okay, but you know, I don't think anymore that it is as common. I think it's actually quite rare to see kids walking to school. And don't get me wrong, I understand that there are so many kids in South Africa that take journeys in taxis, multiple taxis, like minibus taxis, you know, over hundreds of kilometers sometimes, you know, just to get to a school, and they have to walk, and I get that. I'm talking especially, like, even if the school is close to you, it is a lot safer just to take your kid and to drop them off.
Yeah, practically walk them in the door.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, our son's like preschool. Remember how that was? They were like security gates, and you would go in to this like cage, and then you would like tag in again, and the next door would open, you know, and then the teacher would come out behind another closed door, which is like where the main entrance is.
Like 5 gates later.
And and you think that's overkill, right? But that school got robbed a few times. I mean, and people held up at gunpoint at a preschool, guys.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank goodness my son wasn't there, but shame for the people who were.
Yeah. And we say these things in disbelief, and it's heavy to talk about that point. But listen, we didn't want to like leave you on like a really bad point, but it's really just one of the things that it's like so strange for us to see these young kids being so free, and it's really beautiful and it's really cool, and I really hope it can stay like that for as long as possible / forever.
And you know, a lot, like one of the main questions we get asked is, why Sweden? Why would you leave there for Sweden, etc.? It's so cold. Always, it's so cold.
But it's so cold.
But it's so cold. But it's these reasons. I mean, when you come to a place, you see children walking around freely, safe, and you realize that that is what your kids will have. It makes that decision ever so much easier.
Yeah.
You know you made the right choice. So it was a hard move, but it's been
worth it.
Totally worth it.
Worth it for your kids, you know. That's the big thing.
Absolutely. So yeah, we'll leave it off at that point, and
we've got good ones still.
Oh yeah,
we have so many.
We've got so many good ones. So anyone who's ever planning on visiting, stay tuned, because we've got a lot more of these coming.
Yeah, guys. So if you enjoyed this type of stuff, like we actually enjoy just like talking about it a little bit.
Chatting it out.
Yeah, it's great. And yeah, let us know in the comments if you enjoy these types of videos. We will gladly make more of them. In winter, it is a little bit more difficult to be all DIY. Let's raise a barn outside, or like.
Why? Is it cold?
Yeah, it's difficult when the cement freezes and such things. So yeah, it's really great to do some of these sit-down videos as well.
Yeah, absolutely. So thanks guys for tuning in. Remember, subscribe, like, share, and stay tuned.
Cheers guys. Bye.